Fox 5 1/2 News. I'm your anchor, Aaron Burnett. Tonight, Micah Brzezinski explores a neighborhood basketball phenomenon who could be the next generation of beloved sports stars. Ainsley Earhart interviews Emily York and Jade Booth about their experiences of not vocalizing to communicate for a 36-hour period, and Brian Williams reviews the weather. Now we go to Brian Williams with the weather.
As you can see, it's raining pretty heavily. Back to you, Aaron.
Now we go to Micah Brzezinski.
Yay!
Thanks, Aaron. I am here today to view this basketball phenomenon. These young men could be the next generation of all-stars, only now playing within elementary levels. I am here with Nico Cruz to get his input on this new group of basketball NBA players. Nico, what makes this group of players so special?
We play basketball a lot.
Hey. Do you think that you are ready to take this team to the next level of NBA?
Sure.
Interesting. And what do you call this new group?
Basketball players.
All right, well, there you have it, San Diego. Back to you, Aaron.
And now we go to Ainsley Earhart.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm here with Emily York and Jade Booth. They have gone around 36 hours without speaking, only using an iPad and other resources other than vocalizing and communicate. They had to overcome much to gain the experience they have today. So what did you learn from this experience?
Well, I advanced my perspective from this experience considering I already had known much about daily lives of those who can't vocalize, but now better understand the challenges and mental conflicts during this project.
From this experience, I learned what it was like to not be able to communicate through vocalization and the social challenges faced when talking is not an option of communication. The experience will definitely help me understand those who are nonverbal in the future.
And what emotions did you both experience during the project?
I experienced a variety of emotions during the project, mainly annoyance when I had complications with communicating with my iPad, and when others in conversations would often lose interest in what I was attempting to convey. I felt awkward when I had to interact with store clerks that didn't quite understand what I was doing, other than believing that I could truly not speak, and I felt happiness when I had received attention considering I couldn't vocalize. I also felt awkward when I walked around with my iPad and couldn't explain that I couldn't vocalize when communicating.
I felt many emotions during this experience, such as frustration, annoyance, and most importantly, empathy. It was obviously difficult to stay quiet when I wanted to be involved in vocal communication, which triggered me, but the feeling that I felt the most was empathy. Being able to experience what nonverbal communicators experience in their everyday lives helped me be able to sympathize with them much more.
Breaking news, there's a nincompoop on the loose snatching old lady's wig. San Diego, beware.
No! My wing has been smashed!
Interesting. Did anything surprise you?
I was surprised that one of the parents I interacted with at my brother's basketball game had acted as if I couldn't hear, miming the words she was stating and explaining the content loudly. I was also surprised that the store clerk I had interacted with was acting strangely towards my iPad and inability to talk. For example, she had continued to state how great it was that I had an iPad to communicate, and had an attitude that was more positive and easygoing compared to the way she acted around those who were able to talk. I was also extremely surprised how hard it was not to talk and how hard it was to type out sentences and responses before others lose interest in the conversation. Plus, I realized that having conversations with friends were much harder to maintain considering they were very one-sided and short.
What definitely surprised me the most was the impatience that people showed toward me during the time when I was using the iPad to communicate. All the people that I interacted with would give me about 10 seconds to give a response, and after that they would end the conversation if I didn't respond in time. I felt an immense amount of pressure to be quick, but it wasn't working out, and therefore all my conversations were short, and the person I'd be speaking with would be very intolerant.
How are your social interactions affected?
Like I said before, one thing that I noticed for how my interactions were affected was that all the people that I spoke to were impatient and would sometimes even say, "If you can't respond by the time I come to 10, I'm walking away." This made me realize that this intolerance could be present in the everyday lives of individuals who are nonverbal.
I can't even imagine trying to do such a task. Were there any special and memorable moments during your experience?
There were multiple memorable moments throughout my experience. The main moment was on my birthday, February 25th, in my 6th period class, Paulding English. I had told her about my project earlier that week. She then explained the project to the rest of the class. Suddenly, Philip, a student within our class, randomly states that it was my birthday and how that made my day even harder. I will forever remember that moment because I had many mixed feelings.
Again, this must have been such a challenging task. What questions did this experience raise?
Some questions that I definitely have after the experience is if the attention that I got would become an annoyance to individuals who are actually nonverbal. I also wonder what accommodations are provided to help a nonverbal student at school communicate more efficiently, if any at all.
Did you gain a new perspective?
I now realize more about individuals who can't vocalize like others, and I respect them much more compared to my previous views. I originally thought that this project would be somewhat easy, but in reality it was not. Therefore, I can only give my highest respect to those who can't speak. I also value my vocalization much more, considering I barely survived 2 days without talking.
Does this experience support or contradict anything you have learned so far in class?
This does not contradict anything that I have learned. From the experience, I definitely know how to interact patiently with anyone who is nonverbal, which is something that I have already been taught. It definitely supports that nonverbal students face a lot of social challenges and are often underestimated by those who they communicate with.
What did this experience teach you about the importance of nonverbal communication?
This experience taught me about the importance of nonverbal communication because communication is a vital aspect of an everyday life of any person. Though, when your ability to communicate is disrupted due to a disability, your entire life is disrupted. Therefore, nonverbal communication is very important.
Do you have any suggestions for professionals who work with students that use AAC?
Okay. I would definitely suggest working on typing with the student because efficiency was very important for me during social situations. I would also suggest that the professional use alternate communication for a day as well to gain the perspective that I have the privilege to be gaining.
Before we go, I have one of two final questions. What lasting impression does this experience leave with you?
I think that the experience helps me realize just how important my vocalization is to my daily life and my communication in social situations. It really helps me value my privileges that may not seem like privileges because they just come naturally to those who use a vocalization to communicate.
The final thing I want to ask is there anything else either of you would like to add?
I think that my house is haunted when my iPad was randomly locked. I thought that maybe the ghost or spirit in my house could have locked it. So I was sort of stressing out because I was worried that there was an actual spirit in my house. Plus, I advanced my knowledge of American Sign Language when communicating with Rachel Markman.
By the way, well, at my house, the conversation and interaction with my family members during dinner was greatly impacted by my lack of speech. It was difficult to converse with my mom when she asked me how my day was, and my other family members were very impatient and intolerant.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us, Jade, Ruth, and Emily York. Stay classy, San Diego.
And cut!
Thanks, Ainsley. That's an incredible experience Jade and Emily had went through. I encourage all of you to try that challenge. That's it with Fox 5.5 News. Stay classy, San Diego.
around 36 hours without speaking, only using an iPad.
That's quick.
Thanks, Aaron. Cody, you have a whole other 3 more lines here.
Oh.
Okay, retake.
Start
Retake.
over.
Take 2. It's okay. Take 2. Number 2. I'm on the wrong part. Okay, wait.
Go.
Okay.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm here with Emily York and Jade Booth. They've both gone around 36 hours without speaking, only using an iPad. And other resources.
Cut. And other resources. Okay. Take 3. Take 3. Take 3. Take 3.
I should get you a mustache.
This is all bloopers, guys.
Alright, here we go. 3.
Blooper reel.
Go.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm here with Emily York and Jade Booth.
Sis! We're gonna have a very lengthy blooper reel.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm here with Emily York and Jade Booth. They've been around here. I don't want to look at
Read
it.
it.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm here with Emily York and Jade Booth.
Jade Booth.
Other than vocalizing.
Vocalizing.
Non-verbal. Non-verbal. Non-verbal.
No.
Verbal.
Non-verbal. Non-verbal.
Non-verbal.
Okay, restart.
Okay, what did this experience teach you? What? Cut and action. What did this experience teach you about the importance of a non-verbal? What did this experience teach you about the importance of a novel communication?
Of a novel communication.
Novel. Before we go, I have one of 2 final lasting questions.
I got all the wigs snacks. Stressful on set. And I will always love you. We'll always love